How to disable kernel probing for drive. I have Samsung laptop with 30 GB express cache SanDisk SSD soldered on mainboard. SSD died, gives tons of errors when I try to access it somehow, but it is still probed on kernel boot. I see its partition. Ubuntu's Unity shows unmounted drive icon in app drawer, and worst of all, I can't suspend laptop, because sending suspend command to SSD device fails. I tried to pass SDB equals noprobe kernel parameter, but it looks like it is obsoleted long ago in 3.8.0 kernel, Ubuntu 13.04. How can I disable SATA device in recent kernels?
I have researched this and found a solution that can be implemented quite easily on Ubuntu. The distro uses Kmod, so the following should work fine on that and any distro that uses Kmod. Depending on what driver you're using, you will need to blacklist it if you want to disable all SATA devices. Trials mod grep SATA and figure out which drivers you're using. Then in your /etc/modprobe.d/ create a new file with echo blacklist module is greater than blacklist.conf to add it to the blacklist. Rebuild your initramps with kinitramps for it to take effect. Reboot. Alternately, just add modprobe.blacklist sadface module to your kernel parameters.
Two solutions here. One is fast to apply, although solves the problem only partially. The other one is the complete one but requires you to compile your own kernel. The correct answer is a kernel patch. Robin H. Johnson wrote a patch for the SATA kernel driver. Find it in Unix Linux Stack Exchange site, which hides completely the drive. Update the patch is now upstream, at least in 3.12.7 stable kernel. See the Getty repository. I asked for backport in the Ubuntu Launchpad. Once the patch is installed, adding to the kernel boot parameters will hide the disk from the Linux kernel. Double check that the number is correct. Searching for the device name can help. Workaround. Answered by Unix Stack Exchange user Emmanuel in this URL. You can at least solve the suspend problem by issuing the command. Before suspend. To automate it, I added the following file. Note the flags, it must be executable. In the directory etc. pm sleep.d. And now the system suspends and resume correctly. I added the snippet. To etc. rc.local2 for good measure.
I went and wrote a kernel patch for you that implements the ability to disable a single disk at boot time, so that you don't need to bother with disabling it in udev or the waiting during the initial boot. This URL should apply to many kernels very easily. The line above it was added 2013-05-21/v3.10 rc1*, but can be safely applied manually without that line.
If you want to support the channel, please consider liking and subscribing.